Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome back to All You Can Eat Chelsea. You know it's a madness when I'm pressing that intro and then I'm pressing live and I'm like, hold on a second, I've already pressed the intro. I'm pressing the intro again. I'm just running it again. This is that good. You know, I'm gonna be shameless right now. It's a great intro, and you're gonna watch it twice. That's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to watch it twice. You know. So obviously. It's a special episode, not only because it's the last live one. Obviously, we was doing premieres anyway, but if you know, Twitch deal starts for me on the 1st of February. So any breaking news or You Can Eat Chelsea episodes for the rest of the season will be on Twitch if they're live anyway. Obviously, the premieres will still be on YouTube, but it's also special because we have a certain someone who hits 100K, but the play button's here. Come on, let's get that shit out here right now. All right. That's the dream.
All right.
Can I see my face? I think we saw his face earlier.
Yeah, I saw my face.
Miss saw his face. Do you want to see your face again? Go on.
Look how shiny it is.
Woohoo, look, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm Matisse.
You just carried me. You just kept me uploaded. I needed to see that in the flesh. That looks really nice.
Shiny. It's very shiny. I didn't expect this to reflect. I thought this was just would be tinted or something, but no, it reflects.
Is it heavy? Does it?
It's heavier than I thought. It's light. It's still light. I'm flipping.
Can you wear it like a wrestler, like the heavyweight champion? Do you know what I mean? Like a belt. Can you make it into a belt?
I would just use that to beat up my enemies, fam. Just be like, I made it, bitch. Come on.
Imagine Younes rocking around the streets of London, that wrapped around his chest, the belt that goes at the back.
And then I see a couple of others walking about in million ones and gold ones and bigger ones, and okay, I'll go back home.
Hey, Younes, it's never about the size, all right?
It's about how you use it.
How you use it, exactly. It's never about the size. Amen,
ladies and gentlemen.
It's
not about the size.
This is true. This is pure fact, actually.
Oh my God. And do you know what's so great is you received yours quickly. You must have applied the day. Yo, bitch, send me my money.
Legit. As I hit 100, they send you a code, and that code came, I think, a few days after I hit 100K, and then I submit that code, and then they gave me a date. That was about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it took about 2 weeks to come in the end. So yeah.
Mad. What's the next one? So next one's $1 million. Is that right?
Next one's $1 million. Yeah, next one's $1 million. The gold one. Yeah. And then if you're mad and you go on a flipping rampage, then you end up getting a diamond play button on 10 mil. But that's for very, very few selected people.
That's in another lifetime. That's another generation later.
That's literally PewDiePie and all them lot. So yeah.
And babyface Younes is back in the building. Yes, he is.
It's been a while.
I saw him on Goonies channel as well. It was fantastic. And I mean, for me, still trying. Miz, you know what I'm saying? I remember when Miz goes babyface as well.
Oh yeah, I just shaved this morning, so yeah.
It's nice and low cut. I like it. Big up the damn chat. We see you. Obviously Matisse and all these nicknames will have to fly, of course. I'll take it. And yeah, like I said, man, big achievement, man. And I'm really we already spoke about it before, but to see the play button is a lovely thing.
Absolutely. Hey, you're next in line. Miz afterwards.
Nah, bro, years away.
The grind continues. You know what I'm saying?
Matisse will get there. Matisse will get there.
We only hope. And,
hey, but quickly, if we're talking about accomplishments and whatnot, I think we can talk about Matisse ending up on live Premier League TV.
Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
He's looking flipping swagger and all sorts, man. Yeah,
bro, you were looking good, bro. If I was a girl, I would be all over that.
Yeah, man. And remember, size don't matter.
yeah, that's right, bro. I'll take any size. I'll take it, bro. Matisse, you were looking smack. bro.
Shut up, bro.
Wow.
You are about to get paused spammed in the chat like
I love-
a not rate of 1 million.
I love the way at the start you were speaking German, and I don't know what you said. Like after you said Guten Tag, and you said
Is
something.
it
and then,
Dinke? Or Dinke?
yeah,
good,
but then
good
he did this.
10K.
What did you say?
I said good 10K. Yeah, I think
Good
basically
10K. He done
I'm
this
good or something. Yeah.
He done this. He went good tanke.
No.
And I'm like,
He was trying to pick up that lady.
Bro, we were rehearsing
smooth.
German for so long. I almost forgot that we was having a conversation afterwards. I was like, I'm just happy that I've done the German part correctly.
Bro, who's the bigger question is who's the bird, bro? Have you got the name?
yeah.
That's the most
Alex,
important part.
bro, Alex.
Let me know later on after the conversation. We'll need to talk.
Miz is on a Matisse today. But no,
Who cares about the Premier League show, bro? I want to know what she's up to.
She's
Do you know what I
unreal.
mean?
Her and Olivia are unbelievable presenters. Like I was obviously beforehand, we was preparing, and the detail she puts into her presenting is ridiculous. Like I'm talking the finer details, like learning German for the before it. Do you know what I mean? Just getting a bit of German words in there. Obviously, the location was German themed, stuff like that. So it's a real eye opener into presenting and reporting and just going the extra mile. But I'm not gonna lie, like I said, everybody was giving me a lot of praise obviously yesterday with the YouTube video. I personally actually think I could have done a lot better. I was saying that to you guys in the group chat. I was looking at it and I was saying to my girl as well, I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like I could have done a bit better than that. I feel like I didn't give enough detail with maybe I could have sent a few shots at the scouting team or something. Do you know what I'm saying? Rile up some people. Just like, listen, get Tuchel some players, bitch. But
This is what this is for.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? I had to realize as well, it was actually my first time doing it, doing live TV in person. So I obviously did the Sky thing, but that was at home. So it was a little bit easier. So yeah, it was my first time in person. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of slack there and say next time I'll do more. But yeah. I tried, and it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, you smashed it. You smashed it, man.
You did well. I don't know. Don't be hard on yourself, bro.
Yeah,
like,
big time.
No need for controversy on your first live. Like,
Absolutely, yeah. You know,
we've got enough of that.
I was like, guys, do you need any controversy? Because I got a lot to say.
people be like, we've got ourselves a new Chelsea Roy Keane. Like, we don't need that.
They said they loved it, and hopefully I'll be back. So maybe I did a decent job. I got some food. I got a patty.
He's got a patty.
Very last minute, by the way. That was not planned. But
I've got a banana, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I got a chewing gum. That's all I have. It's 10:20 p.m. man. I had my dinner a long time ago. So.
I appreciate it, people. Big up in the chat. So we're gonna get into it. Let's get into it. And then we're gonna have obviously the call. I'm gonna add the link into the chat for the call-in show later on. But we're gonna have a little discussion between the three of us first, and then I'll let you man roll in here. I know I'm not gonna get through all of the people that want to come in, but I try my best, man. I mean, I know where we got to start. We got to start with the articles that I didn't even get to read yesterday. That just started dropping one after the other. Again, it was like Fast and Furious franchise. Everybody was just dropping articles again, and it's funny. They all seem to do this together in unison, and all the accounts get quoted, and it's quite some song and dance, isn't it? And for me, I didn't want to react on it anyway too quickly because I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I don't understand why they're coming out now. I mean, we just beat Tottenham. We're going into the break. It seems like a weird time. Maybe do it after a defeat. Maybe better timing, guys. You know, maybe when we've lost or something like that. Maybe get more clicks. I don't know. But Miz, what is going on? Because I know you did a video on this. So explain to me what the hell is going on here.
I was expecting a very low-key international break. We talk about some, interesting topics and so on and so forth, and then. Boom, it's evening time for me. I'm just looking at some news, thinking we're going to see some transfer news. And then I see bad boy Simon Johnson dropping a bombshell. I thought, okay, I've got the subscription for The Athletic. Let me check that out. So I'm reading. It's a long-ass article. And for the first quarter of the article, it was all lovey-dovey. Like it was talking about Thomas Tuchel first year, what he's achieved. He's done so well in such a short time. And then, boom, the dagger. In the back, they start talking about they just jump straight into it. The players are not happy. You know, they don't like the way Thomas Tuchel talks to them. They don't like the way how brutal he is in criticism. Some of them are thinking about leaving in the summer. And there's a bit of unrest in the camp at the moment. It's not all lovey-dovey. It's not tiredness, so on and so forth. And it was just a whole heap of information just thrown at you. And I went from being happy reading, and then I went so quickly mad that I was like, do you know what? I have to do a stream because I've effing had enough. I've had enough of these poor attackers that we have. And I don't know whether you guys have seen today, another one running their mouth in the last 12 hours. One US brother who I don't want to mention because I always get insulted by this particular player every time I bring his name out. But he's running his mouth as well. He's gone and done an interview saying how tough it is at Chelsea. I mean, whoop-de-doo. Where do you want to play? Norwich. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's even tougher over there. It's tough everywhere. This is life, mate. Life's tough. Life is tough, mate. So, Matisse, it's all a bit mad, man. Like they apparently they cannot handle Thomas Tuchel's criticism. It's too harsh. It's too brutal for them.
I mean, I'm going to go through some of these super chats and give my response as well. Verlin says, we're getting the German Maguire, aren't we? I'm guessing he's talking about Saul. We'll talk about that definitely later on the show, as well as Broja as well. Tuchel loves injury-prone players, Saul and Dembele. And I really hope that's not his fetish. Because otherwise we're in for a long time. And Alex is a snitch, so... Snitches get stitches, Alex.
I've clipped some part to send to Mrs. Wife. Come on, bro. How do you have her contact? Tell me that first.
That's a better question. I mean, do you know, I find it more weird, the timing. To send it on Tuchel's anniversary, that you're going to release it then? Because again, when I was on the show yesterday, I was like, I really don't want to overshadow what has been an incredible year, after incredible achievements for an incredible manager and an incredible person as well, because I think he's just been a great guy as well for the media, for us to represent the club, the way he takes responsibility for his actions, etc. Which is why in the title I said the attackers need to take responsibility as Tuchel has, because Tuchel takes responsibility. You know, against Manchester City, he takes responsibility and he says, listen, I could have been better in the previous fixture at home. You know, against Southampton, when he hooks off Cho last season, he takes responsibility, and many other times as well. So I just feel like for a guy that is taking responsibility often, for a guy that seems quite nice, yes, he probably does shout. Maybe he does shout. You know, my mum shouted at me as well. It doesn't mean I want to leave and say, listen, fuck you. I'm leaving the house. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm never coming back. Because you know, you've got to grow a backbone a bit. You know, you are at Chelsea. You are at the biggest club in the world. If Tuchel does shout at you a little bit and he is brutal, well, maybe it's because you're missing chances at home to Everton and costing us points. You know, maybe it's because we have a really dodgy home record this year where we have dominated games and we've created chances, but you guys have been missing a lot. Yes, you may not have played in your preferred position every single game, but that's being part of a team. I'm not talking about any individual now. I'm just talking about the group of attackers as a whole. You know, if you're going to be as part of a team and we're going to have cases and injuries, you're going to have to move position, especially if you're not consistent. You know, we shouldn't all sit here and pretend like, oh, every time Pulisic plays left wing, he's absolutely amazing. Why the hell would he ever get moved? Because we saw a goal against Liverpool. We shouldn't sit here and pretend that every single time Ziyech plays right wing, oh my God, he's amazing. Why would he ever get moved?
Matisse,
the same for everyone. Let's not do that. Let's not try and pretend.
Matisse, do you want to just elaborate on that? Because I get a lot of people lately saying, oh, but Pulisic doesn't get to play left wing. It's so well said that it's like he's been superb for us every time he's played left wing. I mean, Matisse, honestly, just harp on about that. The fact that you said Pulisic, it's not like he's been fantastic for us when he's played left wing all the time. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what people think they're going to get from these players when they play in their favorite position week in, week out. Do they think that they're going to be world class for the whole season, like Manchester City and Liverpool? Because you're in for a shock.
The thing is, Pulisic, I think everyone has this fascination in their head that if he plays in that position week in, week out, we're going to get Project Restart Pulisic for the rest of his career.
But Pulisic can't even play every game because he's injury prone. We have to look after him anyway. Like, where was the talk about playing Pulisic once a week so we don't get him injured? What happened to all that? Now suddenly he needs to play every single match at left wing. And then when he gets injured again, then suddenly we should have managed him better. What happened to all that talk?
Mate,
These guys, they're good players, but they're inconsistent. It's just how it is. It's not a problem.
I find it crazy that we've actually reached a point, where we are talking about these players being shouted at. Like, what the fuck happened?
Bro, this is too cool. Imagine if they had Conte or Mourinho.
No,
Bro,
listen.
They would cry.
Listen.
I want to go home. You know, James
exists.
I want to go home.
It exists at every single level of football, even Sunday league, even pub football. They're shouting. That's football. Deal with it. Why are we talking about some of the world's most elite footballers being unhappy because they're being shouted at? But I find that crazy, bruv. Imagine if Neil Warnock was in the dressing room. But, mate, I'm baffed. I'm actually baffed. Like if that's a problem, oh my god, we've gone way too far with being ultra sensitive to everything, man. We've gone way too far. That's another level. That's another level. That if that's the mentality, get out. Just leave, please, because that's you can't operate at the highest level and not deal with some shouting. That's why you're at the highest level, because we demand the best. It's as simple as that. And if you demand the best, tensions are going to be high, standards are going to be high, expectations are going to be high. You need to deliver. If you don't, there's going to be some consequences. And the minimal of that is you're going to be shouted at. As I've said, that exists at every single level of football. Every single level. Even kids, when they're growing up, get shouted at. So then they get a move on. Yeah. What's the problem? What's the problem?
The details I was saying is that they felt it was a bit brutal for them to take the blame from the fan base for performances that weren't quite up to scratch, as well as playing out of their position. And they felt like Tuchel was being harsh with some of their decision making and their finishing. Okay, so let me decompartmentalize this in a nice way for everyone.
Nice word.
SCN sometimes had to play right back, sometimes centre back. Still put in good performances.
Yeah.
James Milner at Liverpool sometimes have to play fullback. Still puts in some good performances. If you have to swap flank from right wing to left wing, I'm not expecting your performance to fall through the floorboards. You know, you are a winger. You are playing on the opposite flank. Yes, it might be not your favorite side, but you're still possessing some of the same traits and characteristics on the football pitch that you would look to do. Now, if you're playing at wing back, I can understand that's definitely more difficult, but you just got to put the shift in, you know, for the team. And you're not playing there because he wants to play you there. You're playing there because we've got injuries. You know that. You're not stupid. You know that James is out. You know Chilwell's out. Look at Aspilicueta, for instance. Left back, right side, centre back, right wing back, left wing back, all over the damn shop. You know, you are part of a team. The service has got to be done sometimes. It's just the fact of the matter. Now, finishing wise, I don't think anybody can complain about anybody really getting onto them for finishing, because I think everybody's finishing has been poor. And I don't think anybody, if you even rate yourself, there's no way you can sit in the mirror and say my finishing this season has been good enough. Not a single attacker can sit there and say that their finishing this season has been good enough. It's simply not possible. If you think your finishing has been good enough this season in front of goal, regardless of what position you play, when you get in front of goal, if you think your shooting has been good enough, then you should probably just go, because that tells me that your standards are just literally just on the floor. And maybe it's a good thing I didn't say all this on TV yesterday, because some of these players are interviewed by these reporters, and it would have been a damn shame, you know. So
You'd never be back on TV. You'd never be back on TV.
Let's just keep it here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, really, well and truly, your finishing hasn't been good enough. So, you know, I think
just a quick stat just to add to that point. Sorry, as a little detour. In Thomas Tuchel's first calendar year, Mason Mount's the highest goal scorer with Jorginho. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah,
13 goals.
I don't think Mason's been great this season. I think he's nowhere near what he was doing last season in terms of influence on the game. His statistics might be okay, but his overall involvement hasn't been. In terms of like influence. Yeah. And on Pulisic's thing yesterday, I don't think it was that bad for me, because it was, in comparison to Lukaku's, it's not even close. Like there's no comparison.
Of course.
It's not even. so let's. I hope nobody's comparing.
Nothing comes close to that.
Yeah, there's absolutely
the reason,
no comparison.
Just to clarify that Pulisic situation, because obviously some of the people from the live chat think I've got an agenda. By now, the real people that follow me, that watch my stream, you'll know I could not care less. I don't have an agenda on anyone. I don't care. I want Chelsea Football Club to do better. The reason why I felt a bit annoyed about the Pulisic situation, I'll tell you, I'll explain the logic behind it. Yesterday, you had Simon Johnson dropping that bombshell, talking about whole heap of different quotes from senior players to insiders to staff members, so on and so forth. And then immediately the day after, you get Pulisic saying it's tough, this and that. Yeah, it's not as bad as Matisse said, but who are the people that Simon Johnson was talking to? Were any of them Pulisic's mates? Do you know what I mean? Like, surely Simon Johnson didn't articulate that article based on one player's perception. There were multiple players.
There were multiple, yeah.
But they didn't reveal the players, of course, did they?
They didn't.
Of course, they're not going to reveal the players. I'm like, I'm going to put them under the bus.
It's probably not Timo Werner. That's the only.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying.
I don't know why they like me. I'm shit. That's basically what Timo said last time. I was like, mate, Jesus Christ, there's no need to be that. Like, yeah, you know what? I like the humility, but fuck,
he's literally just put himself under the bus. He did it himself. He murdered himself. The thing is, it's not difficult to have a educated guess that who those players could be. It's the players that either don't play in their positions. It's the players that don't get consistency. It's those players. So put the two together. That's what I'm trying to say. Simon Johnson didn't make that article based on Kennedy coming back from his loan and not getting any game time. Like, that's not how it works.
Was it definitely a player or was it a dad? Because I could see a dad saying something like maybe as well.
Well, Pulisic's dad as well recently when he got triggered when I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the Chelsea the presenters said that he believes that Pulisic hasn't developed over the span of the 3 years that he's been here. And his dad got upset that has my son meant to develop when he's not playing in his position? And I go back to the point that Matisse just said. You got to be still apply yourself. Your application still needs to be there. You got to be able to pass, missed time passes. Don't get dispossessed. 1v1 opportunities with the goalkeeper. It doesn't matter where you play, whether you play as a left back, right back, goalkeeper. If you're 1v1 with the goalkeeper, you need to finish. You can't. It's not going to fly if you miss and go, but guys, I was playing right back, so I'm not going to make this 1v1 now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was out of position. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I look at Pulisic personally, I do feel not again. Like I said, I don't really want to make excuses, but out of everyone, I do feel like out of everyone, he's probably played the most positions. He's played striker with his back to goal against Everton and Wolves. He's played. Yeah. For 180 minutes, I think I put out a tweet. He played striker with his back to goal against 3 centre backs both times. Like that is rough. But again, you're doing a job for the team. But I'm not expecting a great performance from Pulisic that day because that was we know when you play striker for this team, you are basically sacrificing yourself and you're not really going to be that involved. He's played right wing back, fair enough. He's played right wing, and I don't really like him at right wing. I think if I was to put him or Hudson-Odoi at right wing, I'll probably put Hudson-Odoi out there or Ziyech obviously out there and put Pulisic on the left, of course. So I do think, yes, he's been unlucky to play in certain places, but obviously he's had to do that just for the team. As if he's saying it's difficult and he's saying it's tough, I don't really have a problem with that. That's why I don't really think it's anywhere near the level of obviously Lukaku. I think if he's saying it's difficult and it's not easy, I think he's just being honest and he's saying, all right, cool, it's not the easiest moment right now. As long as he's saying after that, but doing it for the team, working hard, and hopefully I get to be in my position soon. I don't have an issue with that. But I think out of everyone who's been moved, I think he's probably had it the hardest. Hudson-Odoi would probably be second, and then maybe I say last few weeks I can definitely see Ziyech is getting a lot more tactical responsibility, which is good for him if he's obviously earning that trust. Lukaku, like Werner, those two, they're living life. You're getting as good as you can get in terms of positions. You're up front. Do you know what I mean? You're not really getting moved. Even getting the 2 striker system as well, which both of you want, I think. So you can't have any complaints there.
Matisse, just quickly on the point that you said that he has been the player that has played in many different positions. Would it have been better had he been benched? I mean, what would be the excuse then that I'm not getting game time at all? Like, what do you want? Do you want to get into the team by hook or crook, or should Thomas Tuchel had selected Sun Sub-Bell to play up front and you be in the bench? Like, what do you want? Which one? Like, you can't be angry on both the situation. I'm going to be angry if I'm benched. I'm going to be angry if you start me. So Thomas Tuchel, go shoot yourself.
This is. You know what? He's got a point, man. The thing is, we understood the circumstances that we were in, right? And he understands the circumstances we were in. And as you just said, he had to play up front. He had to play up front. We didn't have anyone else. You know, Lukaku was injured. Werner was injured. Players were out. Havertz was out. We didn't have anyone else unless we play Kepa up top. You know, there was no one there else that was capable of playing.
Pulisic wanted Kepa to play up top because that's his position.
But you know, I can see it. Like from that point of view, the best thing for Pulisic to do was just, you know, it's not been easy, but I feel like I've had to do what I've had to do, and I hope I've helped the team, and I hope I've helped Tuchel. Like, you know, that's just as simple as that. But the problem is the timing, I guess, with, you know, saying things. I mean, we spoke about the way that Lukaku put the fuel on. I mean, not the fuel on the fire. He didn't put the flipping fuel on the fire. He got a whole flipping tank of like petrol and decided to fucking throw it onto the flipping burning building. You know, that's what he done. But with Pulisic, and this goes for all players, you just got to pick your words carefully, because like this morning now, after Tuchel's anniversary, the articles we had yesterday about players being unhappy, Chelsea attackers being unhappy, now all of a sudden we've got Pulisic saying life's hard at Chelsea. It doesn't look good. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and Younes,
I'm going to be a lot more lenient. I'm personally not too bothered by what he said, but obviously everyone's going to have their own opinion, and that's what we have the show for. So I like that. I think maybe it's because I'm numb because Lukaku did such a madness that nobody's going to come anywhere near that. So these little things from Pulisic for me, I was like, you didn't really say too much wrong. You've been honest. Yeah, maybe a couple of words could have been different, but I'm not really that bothered. I feel like you've had a tough time. As long as you're just willing to do it for the team, which you've done and you've played, then it's not a problem for me. I'm going to blaze through some super chats as well before we move on to some Broja talk as well, because I know Mrs. especially and Younes big fans of Broja as well, and we've got some worries there. Every time Pulisic gets on a good run left wing, he gets injured. It's really not worth it. Ziyech is similar, gets on a good run, gets injured. You know, these guys, they haven't really been fit, which is another concern. That's obviously not their fault, but it is a problem, the fact that I think Pulisic missed like the first 2 months of the season after Palace. So, you know, that's partly, again, a big issue when you're coming back and you're trying to be in the first team. You're injured right from the off. So obviously that pushes you down the pecking order. I'm just going back up to some of the super chats. I think it's just star them, unfortunately. Guys.
Is that legit? Traore to Barcelona? What?
Apparently that's on.
What?
Grizz was telling me Traore is going to Tottenham. So if he does not go to Tottenham,
oh my god, it's true,
bro. Grizz,
you, I'm watching you now. I'm seeing you later on today. Yeah,
put him on fraud alert, bro. Put him on fraud alert.
If I don't see that brother in a bloody shot, in a bloody Tottenham shot, I swear I'm not taking no more transfer news from you again. If you think about it, I think playing Cho as a right wing back helped him become a good all round player. Now he can defend better than a Cho 2 years ago. It's a decent point.
True. That's very true. His defensive work's gotten so much better.
Yeah, I like that point. I do think going forward, though, he does need to regain some of that 1v1 daring, you know, dare to do if the Tottenham slogan stands, you know what I'm saying? One of them. Velan says, can we just laugh at Arsenal, Vlahovic and Camiller's? Yeah, we can. But you know what? You know, Arsenal, I'm not even going to pretend like as if I'm surprised. You know, really, are we shocked? Not really. They're not, you know, who... You know, when you look at attracting players these days, there's many things. Champions League football, a world-class manager, they have neither. You know, Mikel Arteta, no one really wants to play for an Everton legend, and they don't have Champions League football. So it's not really surprising that these guys who want to take the next step have chosen Newcastle over Arsenal. You know, obviously Newcastle are booming right now near the relegation zone, looking to do big things in the next couple of years. And Arsenal are currently in the top 4 race. So, you know, that just goes to show how they're rated right now. It's unbelievable. Vlahovic, I mean, listen, Vlahovic was never going there, but it's just nice to see.
The audacity of Arsenal to go for Vlahovic.
No,
you should be going for Callum Wilson, mate. Like, seriously.
Look,
that's more your levels.
Juve got him for 62.5 mil.
Wow.
That's
I think 75 million euros in
75 million euros, yeah. That's affordable. Well, Arsenal, apparently they have money.
Yeah, well, Everyone has money until
the
real money people have money coming. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know what it sort of made me understand is that players of Vlahovic's levels, they literally laugh at when they get Arsenal like knocking on their door. They're like, dude, how dare you knock on my door? Leave.
You know what's mad? We remember a time like 15 years ago where Arsenal would have got him.
Yeah.
Arsenal would have got him.
Easy. Yeah. Those days are gone. Those days, they can't even get Tammy Abraham anymore. Like Tammy wasn't even favoured with us at the end of last season. So.
Oh man, C says the whole attack can go, to be honest, but we'll be back where we started in getting chemistry with attackers, but at least there won't be any players from previous managers. Appreciate all the super chats, guys. Thank you so much. I'm just flying through them because I don't want to miss any. But listen, I've seen some of them saying they might want to leave, and I don't think anybody's going to cry about that if they do end up going. So that's not a massive issue. If we do lose two attackers in the summer, that's kind of what I wanted to probably see anyway. Pycroft says, you play for the biggest club in London, true story, earn about 200k a week. You can't finish to save your life. You were crying because TT yelled at you. Time to pack up your bags and go for Norwich. Yeah, it's a bit all over the place there in terms of just. I mean, it all started with Lukaku, didn't it? You know, if we're keeping it a buck, he's the one who opened the floodgates, and then certain people will probably feel the confidence to come out now and say what they got to say, which is fair enough if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm just once again, I spoke to Mo on Twitch on our show, and we were speaking about environments and how important it is to have a good environment. And Liverpool have that. Chelsea traditionally don't have that. And if you keep having these stories, people will say, "Oh, it's not that deep." Well, it is, you know, unfortunately, because you don't see this at Man City. Articles on players don't drop at Man City, and if they do, they leave.
Yeah.
You know, when Torres said he wanted to leave, he was out the door. When Sané said he wanted to leave, out the door. Liverpool don't have this problem. So if you want to create a successful environment for Premier League winning teams, then these kind of things can't be happening every single year or every few months, if anything. So we do need to cut it out, because it is getting a bit boring, to be honest, listening to these Harry Potter books being dropped on our ass every few weeks, when really you could just have these conversations privately. You don't need to speak to journalists in the first place. Opinion on Everton fans cussing out Victor want Lamps. Younes, what's your opinion on Lampard? I completely forgot about this. Lampard going to Everton, if that happens, what do you make of that?
I think he should do it. I think he should take it. And if he doesn't, give up management. Because, like, the thing with Lampard is he wants to manage here, right? I think we've established that. He can't be bothered to go abroad and do something elsewhere. You're not going to get a better role. Right now, you're not going to get better than the Everton job. You're not going to get a top 4 job, that's for sure. You're not going to get a club that's hovering mid-table or just nearabouts that are stable, like an Aston Villa with Gerrard now, like a Brighton with Graham Potter. That's not happening. So you look at what's available. You didn't want Norwich. Fair enough. Everton. Take the job.
Yeah.
If not, well, what do you want? What do you want? Unless if he wants to go up to Rangers, but he would have done that by now. So I think he should do it. I think it's a good opportunity for him to go into a role where I don't think there's much expectation. There's not much pressure, which is going to be good for him. If he can keep Everton up, which sounds mad because Everton shouldn't even be near relegation, but that's, you know, no one should be that entitled. If he manages to save Everton from going down, that's a good start. Try and build on any resources that they have, and just, you know, work your way up from there and try and build yourself as a manager. You know, you couldn't completely succeed at Chelsea with the pressure and what it took to succeed in the job. Everton, I think, would be good for him at the level that he's at and would be a good base for him to learn. So I'd want him to take it. I really hope he does get that job, and then hopefully we'll see what happens. But if he doesn't, then you might as well just go back to punditry.
Yeah.
Simple.
I do think that's a great job for him. I think the Aston Villa job was a great job for him. I think this is a great job for him. And I think Newcastle was the one to probably avoid, because that is a little bit like, if you get relegated now, you're really looking in a peak situation in terms of resumes. So you don't want to have a relegation on your CV this early. Norwich, I understand.
Even if they weren't relegated, can you imagine, like, next season with all the money? It'd be like a kid in the middle of Toys R Us and no one else there. Like, where do you start?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So-
If you haven't got the experience of, I mean, we already saw he was given a lot of money here, isn't it, in his first summer, and whether they were club targets or our targets or his targets, you know, I think his target was obviously definitely Chilwell. I think he wanted Ziyech as well after seeing him live in the flesh. But yeah, besides the point, it's not easy when you've got a lot of new players coming in and to get the chemistry and understanding there. One thing I wanna just say, it's got nothing to do with anything we've been talking about, and we're probably not going to speak about it for very long. We'll move on. I'm really tired of club targets. Really tired of it. Like, we've been tracking this player for 2-3 years under 2-3 different managers, and now we're going to bring them for Tuchel. Like, we really need to stop doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention any specific targets, but I'm just saying in general, it's really annoying. And I don't even understand the logic behind it, because we've already established that our scouts could probably be better. I don't know if they've established this behind the scenes, but I'm hoping they have, just looking at the track record and just going who did well, who didn't, and how much we paid value for money wise, and just going back and thinking, okay, this is not great. But also, like, why are we not going for players that are, you know, dedicated to Tuchel and what he's trying to do right now? Why are we going for players that we were scouting back in 2018 or 19? I don't get it. It's really strange behavior. It's just odd. So I just wanted to make that.
It should only be done when you've got a stable manager. Like a Pep, for example, well, a City or a Liverpool, even though I wouldn't advise it, but even they can maybe have some club targets because they understand the philosophy now. Like, they know what Pep is about and what Klopp's about.
Yeah.
So maybe people within the club might have an idea and they might spot something. You never know. But if you don't have that, club targets are baseless.
Yeah.
Baseless, man. Baseless.
Yeah.
I think the basis of it should start where literally sitting down with Thomas Tuchel and saying, what is your plan for the 12 months, 24 months, and so on and so forth? Where do you see it going? Thomas Tuchel may say, look, right now I want to continue on with 3 at the back, with the wing backs. Maybe next season I'll transition into a 4-2-2-2 or 4-1-4-1. So you go out there and you find what type of player that would fit any of these style of football that I want to play. As you said, Younes, in your video, the one that you dropped yesterday, it's not Thomas Tuchel's job to go out there and scout. All he can do is say, this is my plan, this is my blueprint.
This is the profile I need.
This is the profile who can fit multiple different systems. Yep. You go and do your scouting now. And I think that's where the scouts go, grab a cup of coffee and they're sipping, and, you know, they're not doing the job. So
we found the player. Who is it? Erling Haaland.
Have you heard of him?
Have you heard
He's
of him?
the latest sensation.
He's unbelievable.
The streets are apparently talking about him. Do you know of him?
I said I wasn't playing with spacing behind. I was going to come up against low blocks. Yeah, but we don't care.
Erling Haaland.
We don't care.
Have you seen his stats on FIFA?
We don't care. I would like a striker that presses from the front, please, and maybe you could link up the play. Obviously, I'm playing with a lot of low blocks, and we're not really playing much counter-attacking football. Lukaku!
That's the name that popped into my mind straight away. Lukaku.
I've seen a lot of his goals maybe on transition at Inter Milan, maybe coming in the right half space. I mean, we don't tend to have that because we've got Kai and Ziyech that like to operate on the right half space. We don't care! Shut up!
Lukaku.
Have you played him on FIFA? He can do it all. Play him on FIFA.
We'll take him. I mean,
We've got a great marketing scheme.
We've already got 2 left footers that want to cut in on their left foot. No, we don't care. We don't care. Okay, shut up.
We've got the hashtag ready. Rom is home. Rom returns.
Rom back.
Rom back.
I'm not gonna lie, them hashtags were slapping. I'm not gonna lie. This is why I feel manipulated, and this is the new word I've got. MAH
manipulated.
I feel manipulated.
Yeah,
like
manipulated.
that Rom back, and bro, there were so many good catchphrases. How could you not be gassed? Really?
Yeah.
You know, how could you not be overgassed, overrating, or overhyping? How could you not? Rom back in the business. Do you know what I'm saying? Back in the
unfinished business.
Bro, how could you not? Obviously, I'm gassed, bro. Who couldn't be? I honestly, if I wasn't, I'd actually had to check myself and be like, yo, are you even real? Do you know what I'm saying? Now you're just being too objective. Something's gone wrong. So how are you not gassed? just be gassed, bro. This is crazy. Look who's back, fam. They had every hashtag in there. Their PR was the PR for that transfer, I don't think we've had any better PR for a move since I've seen Chelsea. Like the PR was mad. It's incredible.
True.
Remember the first week, just bare interviews as well. It was ridiculous. Speaking to everyone.
Yeah.
Mad.
Talking about Didier Drogba, Anelka.
We need to run that back.
Solomon Kalou, talking about all those players, how he was, the 7th striker or the 5th striker or something like that. And then he goes on to do a Sky Italia interview. I can't believe this guy, man. He manipulated us. He manipulated us.
Yeah.
Pycroft says, it's gone under the radar what we played 12 games in 34 days. The same 11, 13 players can't play this often. We're in 5 competitions despite all of this. Tuchel is the man, needs to be backed. Also, Tuchel over the attackers. I completely agree with everything you said. But the rivals don't want to hear it. But luckily, this is just a Chelsea show. Okay, we're going to talk about Broja. And then we're going to talk about Saul. And then I'm going to throw the link into the chat. Probably going to get about half an hour's worth of calls. So I'm going to try and get through them at a decent pace, but obviously we're not going to get through everyone. That's just not going to happen. So if you missed this time around, apologies. But if you want to be involved in them in the future, just follow Twitch and there'll be more of this happening on Twitch. So, Broja, how are we all feeling? Because Newcastle are throwing the money around. They're like, yo, there's poor people around. You know that meme? That's what Newcastle are doing, yeah? I'm just like, that was really a shit attempt at that meme, but you know what I'm talking about, people. Southampton obviously are interested. Hasenhüttl is just like waxing lyrical, is just talking like every 5 minutes about this guy, and I'm just like, you get, I was saying this on Twitch as well, you get one compliment. It's like, if you had a girl and then another girl comes and compliments you, your girlfriend's saying you've got one compliment and another one, and I'm going to take out my purse. I'm going to whack the shit out of you on these streets. Yeah. I'm going to take these heels off and we're going to fight. So you got one compliment. Everybody always gets one. One compliment is being polite. 2 compliments and you're flirting. 3 compliments and it's a fight. So how many is Hasenhüttl on in terms of compliments? Because it's not one. It's not one. That guy really seems to want Broja, and then of course Newcastle say we're willing to pay 40 million. I don't know if that was for the January or the summer, probably the summer, I don't know, but
West Ham's into the mix as well.
West Ham in the mix. Leeds are in the mix.
Leeds, Leeds can piss off, all right? You already got Lewis Bate, all right? You had your transfer. Shut up now.
You know what's mad about Broja? Yeah. Again, Thomas Tuchel not too long ago was like, Broja's our player. Yeah, simple as that. So that's how it should remain. Yeah, clearly Tuchel has some sort of thing in the back of his head about Broja coming back at the end of the season. I've got a weird, bad feeling that with enough money, Marina will go, yes, sell.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm scared of. That's what, like 40 million. It's hard for Chelsea to say no to that, especially considering they let Tammy go for 40 million. And Broja hasn't even played yet properly for us. So I hope not, man. I look at Broja and what he's doing, and I think if it comes to the summer and we need a striker, especially with the whole Lukaku situation, if we need to, shake up these Chelsea attackers and this whole situation, mate, Broja comes through the door with Gallagher. It's as simple as that. He comes through and he plays. Because right now, he's better than pretty much anyone that we decide to play up top. So I just don't think that it's a good idea to get rid of him, and we can't get rid of him, man. If we do, I think it's going to come back to bite us on the arse. Big time. Big time.
I look at it in the sense that we're in the mud with Lukaku situation. There is no way we can easily shift off Lukaku without taking a massive financial hit on his transfer fee that we got him from. And then you've also got, so if it's not Lukaku that we can move on, you got Havertz, who's the other sort of false 9 striker sort of position that he plays at the moment. You can't move on Havertz because Thomas Tuchel truly believes in Havertz. Out of all the players at the moment, the attackers, he's one that he truly believes for his, all the skill set that he has.
Can we play him over Lukaku then? What's the hold up?
See, that's, politics.
If you really
coming into
believe in
play.
him, and let's use him, because like Lukaku's had his opportunities. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
And this all comes down to politics, as we were talking about yesterday, Younes. When you got someone you paid 100 million for, well, the club is not going to look at. And this is the thing. This is where we need to change our mentality. Man City, Pep Guardiola benches Grealish for fun because he's letting Grealish adapt himself. But look, the whole Lukaku situation is mad. He needs to be benched for many other reasons. But going back to the point, Broja coming back, if we can't let go of Lukaku or Havertz, Broja has aspirations as well. He's just playing full-time football now on a regular basis. He ain't coming to Chelsea as much as he would love to. He ain't coming to be second fiddle. Do you know what I mean? You can't go from playing regular basis, one of Southampton's most important players, if not the important player, the way Hassan Nurul talks about him, then come here and be a second fiddle. I would still like it. If it was up to me, I'd have Broja and Havertz up front. But it's just not that simple, ladies and gentlemen. It hurts me to say this. I think Chelsea will sell him. And don't be surprised if Chelsea sells Conor Gallagher as well. Because there's talks about Tchouaméni. You're going to have to move Jorginho, Kante, what's going on? Kovacic is still there. So Tchouaméni, if you bring him in, what's the status of Billy Gilmore? What's the status of Ruben Loftus-Cheek? We only get to do 6 loans, apparently, starting from next season. So it's not like Chelsea can send an army. The loan army need to deactivate. The
loan army is dead.
The loan army should just talk about a loan, quadrant or something. So don't be surprised, man. Many of our talented youngsters, on top of that, the other factor is we made 145 million loss in the financial year that just went by for Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
And Chelsea in recent times, if you've noticed how they operate, it's about balancing the books.
Yeah.
It's the way we got Lukaku was getting rid of a lot of our players, a lot of our youngsters, to get that money for Lukaku. So don't be surprised if you see money being raised again with the selling of Broja, Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and then you may get one elite winger.
I think I read somewhere that Adam Newson reported that we were currently complying with those rules. So I think there's a potential that academy players maybe don't count, and it might just be senior first team like your Drinkwaters, your Baba Rahmans that count for 6. Because apparently we're meeting the regulation so far, so it must not include academy. I'm not sure. Maybe it's 6 academy, 6 first team. I'm not sure. So it's something I'm gonna have to look into because I'm shocked. When I read we were complying, I was kind of shocked because the narrative is that Chelsea are screwed, RIP Chelsea, but they were quick to come out and say no. At the moment, Chelsea are actually complying with that. Someone was asking earlier because there was a report that from the Flag that Pulisic. Also, his future was kind of in doubt. A couple of years left on his contract, might not get a new contract. But then Mourinho also wants 58 million minimum. Potentially, she'll want to make equal money on that. So, yeah, someone was asking about that, but we won't stick on that for too long. We've spoken enough about the attackers. I just think we'll just have to see what happens. Like, I really don't know. It's a weird one because Pulisic's obviously a valuable player off the pitch as well. And obviously we did pay a lot for him. So they're going to want to break even or at least make 50 million, I'd say. So it depends what market's interested in for him and what he wants to do as well. But he does have 2 years left and you don't really want to let it go any longer without establishing what is going to happen. Because otherwise you're going to lose money on even more, as the contract runs out. And this was interesting. Felix swap with Lukaku. Listen, I'd probably break your hand off for this one. If it meant Felix became, maybe our number 10 or one of our inside forwards, and then we went with Broja and Kai as the 2 forwards next season. If you're telling me that we got Felix to replacing one of these attacking midfielders, and then we've got Broja coming in and he's with Kai, I would take that 100%. I would swap that for the current situation. I've always liked Felix. I do think he'd probably be better at Manchester City because the way that he plays is probably suited to them a lot more. But I think naturally he's very, very talented. If it's not going to cost a lot, then it would be a straight swap, which doesn't really happen in football very often. Then I would take the swap because if Lukaku doesn't improve until the end of the season, I would probably love to see Lukaku find, you know, a different club, to be honest. If he doesn't want to be here, like, you know, then obviously make arrangements. And you can't really get picky when you're trying to get rid of Lukaku, because there's only a select few clubs who will take him, clubs that can afford him, or clubs that are even going to offer a swap deal. So if it was Felix for Lukaku, then yeah, I'd take that deal, and let's see what Felix can do. But let's move on. I'm going to throw the link in the chat now, because I know we've only got half an hour left, because I do have to go at 12:30, and I don't want to keep the boys too long also. Got to record a lot of Big Six footage today, which I'm really looking forward to for the other channel. You know, you guys have been asking for Big Six, the channel, to finally actually put some content out. So that's what we're working on today. So I'm gone for the rest of the day on that. So the link is going to go into the chat. And
First come, first serve,
I don't need to tell you how it goes. First come, first serve. And I'm going to pin it, even if I don't really think I even have to. And when you finally do get in here, I want to get your opinions on Saul. We're going to keep it to Saul first, the Bayern Munich defender. Look at these guys running in. Look at you. And you know you got to have face cams on, because we want to be introduced to who the hell you are. This is the perfect opportunity for us to meet some of you guys, which I'm looking forward to as well. Apologies that it is only going to be 30 minutes, because and there is currently 10 people already in. So it is full. So if you're trying to get in, it is full, but we will obviously be adding more people as time goes on. So as soon as someone leaves, that means there is a space. And as soon as that space is there, click the link, try and get in, and then we go from there. You do need face cams on. If there's no face cams on, then obviously I won't be putting you in, because I could just have people with face cams on that wanna communicate on that level there. So if you don't want to do a face reveal and you've got a Twitter account to protect, I understand. but I just want to see faces, man. I just want to see faces. Jared, listen, we've got to get one of the GOAT mods in here immediately. Talk to me, Jared. First of all, how are you? Great to see you.
It's calm. 7 a.m, -8 degrees outside, snow on the floor. Chelsea in shambles. What else can you ask for? You know,
beautiful.
Yeah, and you know, this is winter is here. I was actually going to say everyone speak on Saul, but you know what? Just make any point that you want to make about Chelsea right now with us. What point do you want to get across on All You Can Eat Chelsea? That's what I'm going to do, actually, people. I'm not going to make this about Saul. That's better, yeah. Because who knows this guy? Who knows Saul?
I mean, something that you've been touching on recently a lot is Chelsea's scouting system. Honestly, it's been poor for probably the past half a decade, like since 2017. All these random ass signings that don't make sense in hindsight now. And hindsight's a bitch, honestly. Let's keep it a bug. Hindsight's a bitch.
It is.
But recently I took it upon myself to look at something related to Chelsea and ran it by some of the mods. Chelsea's scouting, like the scouts that we actually have, like registered to the club, and like their past history, it doesn't make sense to me for a club of our magnitude. So back in 2011, our chief scout, we got rid of our old chief scout, I don't remember his name, but we brought in Scott McCacklin, and he came from Fulham.
Oh, lovely.
So
European giants.
It's like Ross Turnbull from Middlesbrough.
So you wait for Intertoto Cup participants.
So from 2011, we got our main chief scout, the guy who basically reports to Marino with all the players that everybody else scouts. He comes from Fulham. From 2009, we have this guy in the Swedish league named David Wilson.
Oh, great.
This guy.
I'm so happy for these guys. I'm really happy for these guys. I used to work at Sainsbury's, so I also am very much ready for service. If you need me, don't feel any hesitation to hit on my email, because I am ready to go. I used to stack the shelves, and as I used to stack the shelves, I used to spot thieves, and that is good scouting, because then I stopped those thieves, and they didn't steal the groceries. So again, I'm ready for service.
That's such a Mourinho analogy, by the way, Matisse, man. You smashed that.
If I ever get to interview Mourinho, I'm bringing omelets. I'm telling you that right now. I'm promising you that.
Salt, pepper, tomatoes, the green peppers, all that.
Make sure they're from Waitrose.
Anyway. So you've gone through all the scouts, and you know who And I guess obviously you've got Ross Turnbull on that list as well. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Come from Hartlepool, for Christ's sake. Oh God.
How did Ross Turnbull end up as a scout?
I don't know. He was a goalkeeping coach at Hartlepool actually, and then his contract ran out, and I guess Chelsea were like, "Hey, yo, forward, fam."
The problem is he's not even down. You can see it. He's not even down as a goalkeeper scout. He's just down as scout.
Yeah, he's just a scout. He's just a scout.
For actual players.
Our actual goalkeeping scout is Christoph Lalikan.
Chris Lalikan, yeah.
Yeah, and then Marina said, I'll bring Czech in on this one. And Lalikan came from Rennes, so that's how we got Mendy, basically. So that's our only good transfer.
I agree
from
with
our scouts
those two.
I
think those two are good.
Lalikan's a legend.
Yeah, I think any more than that is a bit. Is this really necessary? You know, that's the meme. So I don't know. It's a bit mad. But listen, I'm gonna go through people quickly. But I appreciate the knowledge that you brought, actually, Jared, with some of those names. I didn't know that, so I'm glad you could have brought that to the show.
If you saw the other ones, you'd be surprised. I mean, I'm seeing man from the Vanarama League coming as scouts as well. Like Vanarama League.
They're still
I wonder what the criteria is. Like,
there is no criteria clearly. I mean, French third league, Norwich, Hartlepool, Norwegian third division, Swedish second division. Yeah, it's a long day.
Is that the requirement? Do you like football? Yes, you're hard.
Yes.
Do you know football?
Well, we're gonna move.
What positions do you scout?
Yes. But that was some great information, Jared. I really appreciate that. So big up your damn self, bro. Man. And I always appreciate what you do as a mod. You really help keep my chat somewhat sane as I forget to press the settings. So big up your damn self. I kind of turn it up a bit, but we'll chat soon, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, bro. Some great knowledge there from Jared. Harkes speaks footballs. I hope I'm not butchering that. I really do hope I'm not butchering that. If I am, I apologize, but bring yourself in, bro. Talk to me. Right. How are you doing? Welcome to All You Can Eat Chelsea.
I'm great. Yeah, so I think you can hear me, right?
Yes,
we can. Yeah, very clear.
All right, perfect.
No, I can't hear you. No.
Really? check again. Okay. So basically, what I just want to talk about is the issue of the players and them being unhappy and giving this statement. And I expect all of this because the kind of shape we've been playing kind of limits the attackers in some way. They've not been playing in their favorite position, so it's fine for them to be unhappy. And I wanted people out there to know that these players are not going at Tuchel. They are not disrespecting Tuchel. They're just voicing out their own opinion. It's totally normal, and yet they're not even like that old players. Some of them are still pretty much young, and we slate them every time on the internet because they're not playing well. We slate them every time because they're so bad, they're shit. But at the same time, they're not playing in positions they want to play. They feel they could be doing much more. They feel they could be adding much more to the team, but they're not given the platform to do it. And of course, it's because they're not world-class players, as we understand, because world-class players in any position you put them, they would show the quality. But, they still have that fight and they feel like they could be doing so much more. And when they go on the social media, they check everything and we're calling them names and stuff. Oh, Pulisic is this, should be out of the club. And they're like, I've not even been given that much of a chance to show what I can do. I've been on injuries, so they're humans. They will come out and they will say they're not happy, they've not been playing in position. So it's totally normal. But when they start speaking against the manager, then that's where the line is. That's where the problem is. So I think, if they come out, we should just understand and not really call them out and, call them names for just doing the bare normal thing they should do because they're just human beings. So that's all.
I just want to give you something to think about, my man.
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from. They're human beings. They should be allowed to express themselves. A couple of things I want to point out. It's some of the words that was provided, and these were quoted words that were provided in the article in Simon Johnson, like brutal criticism, stuff like he's harsh, or the way he treats the players those are the words that I didn't like. Yeah, I'm okay for you to come out and say, look, it's been tough, like what Pulisic said. Matisse is right. Maybe it's not as bad as what it sounds like because of what we saw yesterday. If you're just saying that it's been tough, so on and so forth, no problems. So that's one factor. The other factor that I want to talk about is you do need to have role models in your life. You look at Jorginho. Look at the amount of crap he got from his own fan base. Forget about the rivals.
Got wrecked by
Has
the Chelsea
Jorginho
fan base.
ever said, Matt Law, come here. I got some juicy information to tell you about Chelsea. Rudiger, look at the way he gets treated. But, all of us wanted him gone, like literally 12 months ago. And not once did Rudiger ever come out and say negatively about Chelsea. In fact, I think there was a Rudiger article, 3-4 months ago, where he actually said how much he appreciated it as soon as Tuchel came in. And you can see the level of his performance. So these young players, they do need to have role models and look at how other players are operating in the business. Is it wise to go out and say what you want to say all the time? Or is it sometimes better to have this conversation with your manager as opposed to a journalist who's going to take your words and sprinkle some salt-based salt around it and turn it into a really, really good article? You can't blame the fans to react. We are fans. I'm not an angel, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan. So I can only react the way something has been presented to me.
Yeah,
that's all.
Just to add as well before I really like the point, and I agree with a lot of it. The only thing I will say is I don't think it's possible for Thomas Tuchel to provide a platform for them all to flourish. And I think if we want chemistry and understanding, then that means we can't have as much rotation, which means some players are 100% going to have to be unhappy with little game time. And that's
about that, I felt like it was still down to the system. We only could play 2 attackers in the game, and we had 7 attackers. So, and that would definitely in no way cause some other attackers to be definitely unhappy, even if they're not saying it. But of course, come summer, I don't know, of course, if Tuchel changed the system, or the system we actually saw against Spurs a few days ago. Now, that system actually employs more attackers to be on the pitch at the same time. And when you even have substitutions, they all get to play. Now, you see Hudson-Odoi is on the left midfield. Ziyech is on the right midfield. Mason Mount is doing his thingy, being as a free man, ace man all around. That place, if Mason Mount was to go off, Kai Havertz could be playing in there. On the left midfield, Pulisic should come in there and function. On the right midfield, there's enough space for all of them to actually play and get happy, and start performing. But of course, we understand why Tuchel is playing the 5-back system. We know he's trying to cover for our mishaps. We know we're bad defensively. So it's something we all understand. That's why I'm saying the fans shouldn't be too harsh on those players actually saying they're unhappy because they've not been played, in the right system. At least you guys saw Ziyech just a few days ago. It was outstanding. It was lovely to watch. That was the first time I saw 3 Chelsea attackers have a good game in one game in a long time. They all had good games. Mount had an outstanding game. Ziyech had an outstanding game. Cho had a very good game in just one game. So, and that was just because they were played in the way they would actually love to play, in a role they love to perform in. So I'm like, once all this is set in, then of course, these players will be happy and will really not have too much problems with them.
You're gonna get defenders sad then. You're gonna make someone sad.
Yeah,
Sooner or later, the defenders are gonna be like, well, now you don't play the 3 defenders. Now I'm missing out. Hey, Simon Johnson, where are you? I need to talk.
I think this is the key to managing a big squad. Younes, you want to say something, isn't it? Before
quickly about the players and the fact they're looking on social media, for example, and seeing if there's any negative hits at them and whatnot. I get that, but this is why Thomas Tuchel, when he's come out publicly and said that he doesn't have social media and he prefers real life interaction. And I tell you what, these players, especially with the media training that they receive at the club, they need to learn to not listen to social media too much. Because let me tell you, at least in this country, Matisse will know, social media doesn't reflect the true opinion sometimes. It really doesn't. In terms of the majority, there is always a silent majority that you don't hear. So in this country, I'll give you an example. The last election that we had, if it went down in the same way that Twitter and Instagram and everything went, Labour would have won by a landslide. in fact, the complete opposite happened, because there is a massive significant of the population that don't go on socials, don't say anything, but they go in a different direction. And I think it's the same in football. I think when you look at the match-going fans, or, there's loads of people that don't come on social media, but they have their opinion, and it's different to what's being said on social. So the players need to learn that there's always a silent majority out there that's thinking different to what they're seeing on social media. So they can't let that affect them. So yeah, it's best to stay away from that for them as much as possible.
Of course.
But when it comes to performances like this, some of them need to be better, of course.
All right, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to move to the next caller, but bro, absolute pleasure, and I love the perspective that you brought. Lovely discussion. I love it. Big up your damn self, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So that was lovely. Really enjoyed that. I love having the other perspective there. We got some good debate there. I think Reece James is back, apparently. according to the live chat. So it sounds like Reece James is back. So yeah. but listen, I don't want us to rush him, but we have 2 weeks off. I don't want to see him play against Plymouth, hopefully. And maybe the Club World Cup, we might see some minutes. So as long as we take care of him, I'm sure Tuchel will.
Here's a little quick question: does he play right back or right wing back?
We'll find out next week.
He'll play striker, bro. He'll play striker.
Bashar, we're going to add you next. I hope I'm not butchering. I'm terrible with names if you watch this show regularly, so I apologize in advance. How are you doing,
Good morning.
How are you? You good?
How you doing, guys? 6 in the morning in Houston.
Wow. You know what, yeah?
That's dedication.
I hear these stories, but that is some serious dedication. The fact that you're up at that time, like, that's mad.
Are you one of them 5 a.m. people that wake up and have a cold shower and like do meditation and all of that? You seem very alive.
Just the shower. Just meditation, yeah. I always wake up, man. I'm used to wake up early. And
I wish I could be like you. Well, let us know, what point would you like to make on all you can today?
Obviously, I'm an Inter fan. I don't know. You guys know me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm an Inter fan. So I'm gonna start with a point where Chelsea fans are ruthless. We all know that. But I think Chelsea fans are over ruthless because, for me, Tuchel overachieved. For me, because I think, ironically, Tuchel winning the Europa Champions League he put that pressure on himself. Ironically, because you have to win some title. But imagine if Tuchel didn't win the league, the Champions League, and he went fourth. I think he fourth or fifth in the league, right?
Yeah.
I think the club will tell him, okay, we're gonna give you your team. You're gonna have your summer. You're gonna give him time. Even the Chelsea fan. But winning that Champions League, I think, okay, you have a good team now. Go get us the league. I think he overachieved even at the beginning in the league. Because he was unlucky because he lost Reece James, Chilwell. I think that was the point where Chelsea started to fall down a little bit. And I think Tuchel has to get a summer transfer. I mean, if you give Arteta 2 summer transfer and they still want to give him a 2-year contract, it's impossible that you tell me that Tuchel is not good enough. That's crazy. Arteta 100%. For me is the 3rd worst manager in the world, so we're not gonna talk about Arsenal. and my last point, guys, is Lukaku. I'm an Inter fan, and I remember when he's had that channel when Lukaku came.
Bro, he loves you guys.
Yeah,
we don't love
so I want to know how you feel. How do you feel about Lukaku as an Inter fan? Did you accept
I will tell you how I feel. I swear to God, when Lukaku came to Inter, I was fuming because I said, I did like Tottenham fans do. Oh, okay, it's Conte wants him. Let's see. We didn't want him. Inter fans didn't want Lukaku because he's a good player, but he was 75 million. He was too expensive. We had a lot of good number 9s in the Italian league. But he came to Inter, and we saw what he did the first year. We didn't win anything. We reached the Europa League final. And we said, okay, he's good. And then I was fuming when he left because he did good. We won the league where he was doing good. He was the king of Milano. We were painting him in walls in Milano.
Yeah,
right?
the mural, yeah.
Mural, yeah.
And then I told Matisse, I remember the super chat I put. I told Matisse, I'm disappointed, but I'm happy he went to a good team. I love Chelsea. I mean, one of my favorite teams in Premier League. I'm not a fan of any I hate City and Arsenal, but anyway, it's another. For me, the reason Lukaku, I swear to God, when the Premier League started and I saw Lukaku playing, he was scoring goals at the beginning, and everybody saying, "Oh, Lukaku is doing this." Me, sewing Lukaku, even when he scored that second goal against Arsenal, I was like, wait a second, that's not Lukaku that I see in Serie A. And suddenly hit me, Lukaku is a classic number 9 that thrives in Serie A. Lukaku, Bianchi, Edin Dzeko, all these classic, Christian Vieri. I will name you a lot of players in the Serie A that thrives in Serie A. Doesn't work in the Premier League. I think Premier League, it's not for him. I think that's why when he came to Sky Italia, you can see him that he was like, oh, okay, Serie A is my league, it's not the Premier League.
And did you forgive him when he apologized to you guys?
I don't forgive him because you were treated like a king. You were number 1. You were playing every single game. He was the king. He was the king in Milano. He was, we went to the Champions League. You could have came with us in the Champions League and you should have played, Inter Liverpool, which Liverpool fans would be surprised when we knock them out because they are.
Oh, I like that.
Love it.
Because Liverpool think
Let's do this.
They think it's done. I'm speaking.
Liverpool fans, they're talking about the next team they were playing. They're talking about Champions League draw.
They think it's a buy. It's a buy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think our midfield is way better than them. They don't watch the Serie A. That's my problem with some.
I love it, Bashar.
Liverpool fans, they don't watch Serie A. They don't know Inter. Yes, they are favorite, absolutely. But do not dismiss Inter. Do not underestimate Inter. We have a good defense. We have a massive midfield. Brozovic, Barella. Come on. I mean, we have Joaquin Correa. I don't know if Liverpool fans remember Joaquin Correa when he scored that brace at 3-3 against Sevilla.
Sevilla player.
They have amnesia. They forget about stuff. But anyway, let them dream.
They just signed Goossens. He's signing Goossens as well. But I think he's out.
We're signing good. We have a good signing next year. We're gonna have.
End of the season. Yeah.
Basha, I'm gonna book you in for Inter versus Liverpool watch along, bro. I think it's gonna be mad. I want you on my watch along, bro. I'm booking you in.
Amen.
And you said that obviously you paid 75 million for Lukaku and you wasn't happy. Well, congratulations, you got 100 back.
We got 100.
We got you covered. We've got you sorted.
We end up with a profit, to be honest with you. But I feel sorry because I love Lukaku, to be honest. I feel sorry for him. He wasn't smart enough to say, okay, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay here. I'm the king of Milano. I'm doing well. I won the league. I'm playing with my love, Lautaro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's dirty, Bashar, bro. No, cut. No more watch along with you, bro. No more watch.
You know what? In Italy, they call our attack Lula. Lautaro and Lukaku.
Lula. Oh my.
That's what they call.
They had a whole couple name. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely, they called them Lula and everywhere, even in newspapers. And if you leave that and you go to
leave Lula
because they have a point proof.
Bro, now he's taking our moolah. You took the Lula, he's taking our moolah.
Well, this has been brilliant. I've really enjoyed the insight. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for sharing.
Extra
for your 100K.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much.
Big up.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So we're going to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much, bro, for coming on. Appreciate it. Big up. That was brilliant. Lovely perspective there.
That was very good perspective.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That's brilliant.
Lula. Wow.
Lula. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I will extend it a little bit longer. I'll extend it longer than what I previously said because I can see a lot of you there. There'll be no stress, no sweat. Ardit, I hope I don't say that wrong. How are you? Welcome to the show. Boys? And look at that lighting. Jesus Christ.
He's set up.
He's the ground is a professional.
Can you see there's a guy missing in the middle? I've got two posters up there. One of them is Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante. There's a big gaping hole in the middle.
You used to have
this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
No.
Well done, teammate.
Oh no.
I really want to bin this, but we move.
I got a shirt, so I know how you feel.
Hey, but your shirt looks much better than this poster, to be completely honest. But anyway,
Well, I have
want
to say your setup is incredible. So how are you doing?
nice setup, man.
I'm good, man. How about you guys, man? How's it going, man? This stream, great stream. I've been watching for a very long time now. It's crazy to actually be on with you guys, man. Big up to all you.
Thank you.
Big up to you as well, man. Big up to you.
What point would
All
you
right.
like to make on the show today?
So
man?
I want to talk about like the attackers and like their flair and confidence recently. It's been like they're trying to play just to stay on the squad rather than to win for our squad. Like when we actually see a glimpse of flair and like confidence with like Ziyech, his last 2 games when he has flair and confidence, that guy he's cool as fuck. Like, he knows what he's doing. His left foot is crazy. But like on the other hand, when you look at Hudson-Odoi, he's a player with no confidence. Like, he should be looking at Tanganga and thinking, you're shit. I am much better than you are.
Yeah.
You should be bullying him. Like, the confidence in our attackers is like one of the biggest reasons why they're not scoring. They're not doing any of these things. Like Thomas Tuchel said in one of his interviews, right, that these players have been scoring since they were like 7, 8 years old. They know how to score goals. They've been doing it their whole life. But as soon as they come to Chelsea, there's always a problem where they can't score. We've had this since Sarri, since long before. It's like we have all these chances, but we just can't put them away. How do we fix this issue of confidence and flair in our club? Is it the players? Do we need new players like how Newcastle have like Saint Maximin, these really flair like marquee players, right? And like Ajax now, they had David Neres, but now it's like with Anthony, it's like they've got these really marquee flair players, yeah. In Chelsea, if you had like a FIFA 22 Chelsea edition, who the hell do you put in the front? Who is our marquee players in the attack? Like, you just can't really put someone there.
It should have been Lukaku, and then he blew it.
Yeah, exactly. I've been backing Lukaku since day one, basically, when he joined, with all the interview, with all the like prop and all that shit. I even got him a fucking poster, bro. I got a poster of the guy, put it right in the middle, center, king of the room.
Yeah, centerpiece as well.
He's wrecked your room, bro. He's wrecked your background.
Absolutely wrecked my room. And that's my bed as well. I sleep there, and he's looking down at me with all that hate.
I'm straight. I had to take that down and fix it up. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a problem.
Literally, the minute the interview came out, I took it down. It was that bad?
Wow.
I don't know what the solution is. I mean, the only thing I can say is scouting again, because it's like Man City, you know, we've played a lot of different styles. Liverpool, like, we played a lot of different styles. Sarri to Lampard to Tuchel. I don't think, I mean, a lot of people are now going back to Lampard's system and saying, well, he was obviously going to get the best out of Ziyech. He wants to play this way. But I also do remember under Lampard towards the end where we were just crossing and we were just literally playing in a U shape. And it wasn't good for the attackers either then, because we were just whipping the balls into the box all the time. We weren't actually putting together any intricate pass and play.
Inshallah, man.
Yeah, we weren't penetrating the middle of the pitch. It was literally just go out wide, cross the ball, go out wide, cross the ball, go out wide, cross the ball. So I don't think that was the solution. Sarri's system was going to take a lot more time, but people didn't have the patience because maybe we saw in that Arsenal game how we were going to potentially rip teams apart. And I think certain players would have suited that mold. Players that like one-touch football. I think Hudson-Odoi would have suited that. And did suit that because obviously his dribbling ability has kind of gone downhill a bit. He wants to maybe combine with players more often. Mason Mount would have suited that as well. So it would have been interesting. But now it's Tuchel. And there's only one Pep. There's only one manager that can play attacking football on that level. I don't think that's normal. I don't think it's fair to ask of any manager to come in and expect them to be able to do that. Playing Gundogan away from home to Liverpool and winning, and him getting a brace, or playing Zinchenko up front against PSG away from home and getting a win. That's not normal behavior. You know, that's very weird. So I actually don't know what to tell you, bro. Apart from the fact that our scouting team is just absolutely very questionable. I won't say horrendous, but questionable.
You could put it on the scouts, but like on the other hand, like if I see these players in like other systems and other squads, I'd feel like they like reach their potential or even exceed it.
The issue is they don't complement each other. Like
that's the thing. I feel like we bought we went on the trending list on the transfer market and bought every single person that's trending, right?
Legit.
Like they're like saying, like you just said earlier with Erling Haaland, like, have you ever heard of Erling Haaland? Have you ever heard of all these trending players on the transfer market for that year? Because that was their outstanding year. Timo Werner with his goals. Kai Havertz player of the year, pretty much. Like, we got all these marquee players and try and mash them together and expect it to work. And then now Tuchel has to like play with these players that are not his. Like, his only signing you could say is Lukaku, but even that was that a Tuchel signing, or was that more of like, okay, we couldn't get Haaland, which was like everyone's number one. This guy, we saw he's somehow available. Let's get him. Was he like the profile we needed?
Exactly. And I don't think
this is why I say the scouting, because
the thing is, look, when you look back at this is the issue. We've had constant changes in manager, and players from those times still here trying to combine together, and Tuchel has to somehow make it work. When you look at Klopp at Liverpool, compared to what he had when he first walked through the door, there's not one player still in that team today from when he walked into Liverpool. The whole 11 has changed because he's been allowed to get what he needs, or he's been given the resources to get what he needs. The same needs to happen for TT. Same needs to happen for TT, man. And if it doesn't, you're going to get the same results.
He's our best manager in a long while. Like, we won't get anything better than him. We can't anytime soon. We can't.
Yep.
If we sack him, who are we going to bring in?
Big
John Terry. He's already in and he's doing a madness.
I feel like we bring in legends, we're going to tarnish their name.
We didn't even speak about John Terry. I think it's absolutely appalling that he's blocking Chelsea fans, and I'm gonna really come out hard on this one now because I'm a bit sick and tired of the bullshit from him. He's blocking Chelsea fans that are questioning his NFT motives on the platform.
Pretty mad.
When he misled all of those followers by doing Chelsea prop and being the Chelsea legend and coming in and saying, we're gonna do this, that, and the third, give opinions, maybe all that kind of stuff. Troll some people, and then you're starting to upload cartoon monkeys, and people are questioning you how you're using the club crest, you're using the Premier League trophy, you're now being investigated, potentially going to be, getting a lawsuit on that, and you're blocking fans that are questioning you when really that you kind of misled your following, and you kind of built your following based on Chelsea, and then you kind of used it to promote some sort of money moving scheme. I don't know what the hell it is. So I think it's a bit foolish from him. I've seen he's blocked Yannick. I think it's a bit foolish from him.
Has he?
Yeah, I think it's really foolish from him, but it is what it is on that one.
Just quickly on that point, Adit, sorry, that's how you pronounce your name, yeah?
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's a fantastic point. How do we get, we can talk about scouts, we can talk about this and that. My only point that I could provide as an opinion is, I think it's something that you mentioned right at the beginning of your conversation, is that these players, they need to forget about playing for themselves just for a moment. Play for the club and the rest will fall into place. The sooner players like Callum, players like Pulisic, players like Timo, Ziyech and the rest, they start playing for the badge, I'm telling you, their performances will get better individually, and they don't need to worry about what's going to happen to their life, their contracts, because it will all take care of itself. Right now, what's happening is they're playing for themselves first, not playing for the club. They're worried about, am I going to get that contract extension? I got to feed my family. Do you know what I mean? I got a family. I got to make sure that. So what I got to do? I got to make sure that I don't make a mistake. I'm not going to be the flair player that Ardit wants me to be, because that may cause mistakes. That may cause me to be dropped. They need to change that. You got to be bold. You got to be a risk taker. I think that's the issue. That's the issue.
First forward that is able to do that is the one that the fans are gonna really like love. The first player that goes out there and actually challenges, even if you make mistakes, we need to actually try. The best thing to do is actually try. And just to stay there and do nothing and play very passive, pass back to the midfield, pass back is just you're not going to get anywhere. The problem is we have so many forwards that all want to be first team players, and they're all in that stage of their career where they've either been bought in for big money or they've had big prospects from young. So they all at the similar period of time where they want to play football now. They want to be first team player. They want to play every single game, and that's the problem. They want their spot more than they want the win.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on to another caller, but I appreciate, bro, your opinion on this show.
Big up to all you,
bringing that,
Thank you, man.
That perspective.
Thank
so
you,
big
man.
up yourself. But like I said, man, you should be a YouTuber because your lighting is ridiculous.
Should I? Soon come.
Big up, bro. Thank you so much.
Nice one, man. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next caller, guys. That was a lovely discussion there. I'm going to add in Ishan next. We've definitely seen him on here before, so it's good to see a familiar
Is it my
face.
brother Ishan Padra?
Yeah, of course it is, bro. Come on.
Hey!
It's my partner in crime.
I appreciate it.
Familiar faces, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you were there when I rang Miz, isn't it? I had to ring him because Ziyech decided to bang in an absolute belter, so I had to... I couldn't believe it. You know, I was there. But big up, bro. Welcome. And what point do you want to make on the show today, bro?
Nah. Listen, Matisse. Before I begin with my BS, just let me tell you guys, this show is the beginning of everything. Let me just tell you, Younes, you're the first guy who I started watching in terms of content creation and all every football stuff. So you're the first content creator. Matisse, this show is the first ever, group show or podcast you'd like to call that I started tuning in. And Miz, brother, you're the first guy to acknowledge me, and I'm a part of your channel now. So big up to you guys. You three are the special ones, and can't thank you guys enough.
Thank you, man.
Let's straight ahead. Let's steer ourselves ahead into the BS that we are in. So let's get this fact straight. We're in the mud, right? Irrespective of the last results against Tottenham. Yeah, we beat them, but then cannot forget the fact that we are in the mud. Now, here are the two perspectives I want to throw in. And I know Miz would know what I'm talking here because it's been a long time now, but I want you guys to think about this. One is it the root cause, the whole interview thing? If yes, then Thomas Tuchel being a manager, how does he not have the liberty and the authority to actually take step and bench Lukaku? Also, not just that, even if you think that he's your big marquee signing, your record breaker, or whatever, but still you need to play him. Fine, you play him. But why not end up substituting him when he's not playing good in a specific match, right? I think so. These small things are there which Thomas Tuchel actually needs to take actions to. We've also seen the past few matches he does not like to make substitutions. He might have his personal reasons, but the thing here is, what I believe is there are 4 verticals where we're just falling deep into. The first one is definitely Chelsea being so dynamic with managers, the board sacking many managers, right? Like Matisse, you said as well, and Younes, you also said in your show that, Chelsea is sacking so many managers. The players know the fact that the players would stay longer than the managers. So they already have that kind of an attitude with them that fine, even if we group up and play bad, it's the manager who gets all the sacrifices, and we're gonna stay long. So this is something rooting to a very negative ecosystem. The second thing is the marquee signings that we make. I think so this adds up to the whole system, because just imagine the fact that if we didn't have a Lukaku, we could have had a 30 or a 40 million signing. We could have benched him easily, right? With this abysmal performances, we could have benched him easily. No questions asked. But just because it's Lukaku and it's a freaking 100 million signing, you're bound to play him. Now you can add up all the permutations and combinations that it's a pressure from board, or it's Thomas Tuchel's self-decision or whatever it is. But still, the fact of the matter is, if he wasn't a 100 million price tagger, he would have been benched easily, right? So this adds up, and similarly goes with the other players, like let's say Kai Havertz, a big signing again. Christian Pulisic, at times he can also be called as a big signing. So these big marquee signings also adds up to the pressure that a manager has to play these guys, has to give these guys some time. And if they don't, look at how maybe at one point of time, although now Kepa has transformed into a very good keeper and we all respect him now for what he's done. But even at one time, maybe there was a sort of pressure from the board, or maybe kind of a recognition that he had to give it to Kepa that, listen, he's your freaking record-breaking goalkeeper and you have to play him. So another vertical is definitely that you guys talk about, relentlessly this very lately, is the post-scouting. I think so that also adds up, because if you don't have a good scouting, you definitely going to have to go to the transfer market and spend money. And we being Chelsea, we spend big money. We are, applying handcuffs on our own, that the big marquee signings will come up. We relentlessly sack managers. So the whole ecosystem is saying that the players have the authority and we're providing them the authority. So what is the solution here? I think so, improve your freaking scouting, man. If you improve your scouting, if there are some, not a big price tag players arrive and actually play well to the level that, it matches these big marquee signings, this will actually enable, the manager to take some good risk. The same thing I was talking to Miz in his channel as well, that, if Lukaku is not performing well and we know that we're not playing well, Thomas Tuchel is already in the mud if he's not playing well. So why not take a freaking risk and bench this man who does not even deserve to start? Let's just play with a fluidic front three. And we all know the fact that we're better in a fluidic front three comparatively if you put in a Lukaku and we get restricted in a lot of ways. Why not take that risk? And whatever happens, happens. Because we're already, throwing out poor results. What is going to happen? We're going to lose or drop points. We're already dropping points. And now with Lukaku, without Lukaku, at least we have a chance of playing that again, that free-flowing football with a fluidic front three with a false 9.5 or whatever you want to call it. So why not take that risk? I think so. Definitely, there's a pressure from board or whatever you might call. And another thing is this all adds up. This big marquee signings, and managers not staying for the long period of time, and also post-scouting adds up. Our academy players not wanting to stay in the club for long. Why would they stay? Definitely, we know the fact that guys like Livramento, Mark Guehi, Tomori could have stayed, and look at our condition at this point of time. We definitely would want them. We would have loved to have them in the current scenario, right? But still, we're seeing that they don't want to stay in the club. Why? Because we already have some big marquee signings with big price tags. They don't want to stay, and they definitely will say that. Listen, these guys gets the first preference irrespective of how they play. So what's the point in staying here? And that's why we saw Livramento gone, Guehi, Tomori, Tammy Abraham also gone as well. So yeah, this is my perspective, guys. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think everything you said is spot on, and I think the price point difference between Lukaku and Kai is probably about 20 million, which is what is even more frustrating. Kai is also a massive investment that people will sometimes forget. He also needs to develop and play as well if he's going to reach his potential. But I think I don't know whether it's they're playing Lukaku because they want to show that the guy, we're giving him the platform to play and prove himself and show that he's not that he wants to be here. And if he doesn't show that, then it's easier to sell him in the summer than if you bench him and you leave him out and then his market value falls through the floor. So I'm not sure what the tactic is, but that could be potentially it from another point of view. I'm going to bring in another caller as well. I'm going to fly through a couple more. I'm not going to be able to get to all of you in there. So I'm going to go to people that haven't been on the channel before. Ishan, really appreciate
all right, guys. Big up. Bye-bye.
I could have done a more of a back and forth, but I just got to get through a few more people. But big up, bro. Really good points.
Much appreciated, man.
Really good points. I'm going to bring on Terry Timms, Sid, and Sai, because I know they haven't been on before, and then I'm going to cut. I think that's all I'm going to be able to get through, guys, because I have to go to a shoot. So apologies if I can't get to you. Terry, I've seen you been in there, bro. Talk to me, bro. First time on the show. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Pleasure having you.
Hi. Thanks, man. I followed Younes initially, and then I've now subscribed to all of you. So thank you, Younes, for making me meet these great content creators, and I hope you guys
anytime, my man.
Just a quick one. Just a quick one. If you were Marina, what would you do to get rid of all these added weight with Danny Drinkwater's, Barbara Rahman's? Because they've been there for a long while, and I just wanted to find out how you get them out of the Chelsea team.
Massive car boot sale outside the bridge.
A yard sale.
A yard sale proper outside the concourse.
But do you think it's a one-season project, or do you think it's going to be done over a range of a number of seasons? I don't know. It's just causing so many problems.
I think they have to be let go. There's two options for me. If their contracts are running out, then obviously just don't renew, because we continue to keep giving 1 year extensions to players and then loaning them out, and then they're still here, and then we go again because we want to, for some reason, have people on our books and potentially try and get money back for them. But every single time we do this, we're looking for 5 million for Kennedy, 5 million for Barbara and 5 million for Drinkwater. We're not going to get any more than that. We're never going to get 10 million for these players. As we're trying to collect 5 million, we're wasting time and potentially losing value elsewhere from Cobham talents or guys with potential who are leaving because the squad is too bloated. So I think, we're probably losing money and obviously paying their wages. Guys, there's no more additions coming in. So I'm sorry if you're only just being added in now, but I'm only going through a few more people that haven't been on the show before, and then I'm going to have to cut, I'm afraid. So no more entries from this point onwards. But I think that you have to be clever with it. Potentially say, okay, if Drinkwater, first of all, you can't ask for any money, so just say for free. Now, obviously, you have to hope that these guys are going to take less wages. If they're not willing to leave to play football and take less money, then there's nothing you can do. Those players are not going to be able to be shifted, unfortunately. They're just going to sit there maybe like Mesut Ozil and just make their money. Do you know what I mean? Or like Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's probably a better example at Real Madrid. Just make their money. But if they are looking for first team football, they are willing to leave. Some of them are on big wages. You're probably going to have to sell them. Maybe come to an agreement of paying a little bit of their wages still for the first maybe year of their contract at another club, and maybe even make it sweeter for that other club by giving them one of our promising young players on loan as part of a deal as well, to sweeten it, to make it nice for them. Say, okay, you're going to take this person, you must want them, but also we're going to give you someone on loan as well, just to make the negotiation even smoother if they're paying a lot of wages. So maybe you get 2 players for the price of 1 wage. That's the only way I could see us trying to do it, but it's such a difficult problem when you sign players like that on big wages. I mean, you screw yourself over.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. I don't know if this is true, but on FIFA, you can release a player. Can you do that as well in real football as well? Or
100%.
You could.
You could easily 100%.
You could terminate the contract.
Well. Yeah.
It's all financial, isn't it? Like a Drinkwater, for example, who we spent 35 million on, earns 100k a week. Yeah. Chelsea are not just going to go, okay, your contract's terminated. As much as that would be nice for all of us, we'd take it. But financially, Chelsea won't do that. They will try to, get rid. And truth is, like, to answer your question, I'd say Chelsea need to be able to just take a loss on some of these lads, because let's face it, like Drinkwater, we're not going to get 35 million back for Danny Drinkwater. We're barely going to get 35p. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it don't make sense. Yeah. So if someone comes in and goes, we'll give you 8 million, snap their hands off. Take it. Just take what you can. At this point, take what you can and get rid of all the deadwood.
Just quickly as well, man, on that, it's a very good question. As an investor, you need to know when to cut your losses. Like, you can't be holding on to an asset until it depreciates to $0. Do you know what I mean? Even if you can get, as Younes said, 5 million, 2 million, take it and move on, and make sure you don't create a mess of a deal next time. You got to learn from this sort of situation. So I think we were learning until Lukaku dropped the bombshell on us. And this is probably why we're not seeing any movements in the January window, because they don't want to. They're now scared. They're like our attackers. They're a bit scared. They don't want to make a mistake. They want to pass sideways and do this and that, the board. So they're now shell-shocked as well. So hopefully they've learned the lesson.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much, guys. I'm not going to stay long. Yeah, so
appreciate
take care.
It. Listen, Terry, really appreciate it, bro. I wish I could keep
Terry,
everyone longer, but I have to end the show soon. But big up, bro. Thank you for coming on first time on. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big up, bro. Thank you. Thank you. So that was Terry. Good to have him on. I wish I could make some of these convos a bit longer, but I do have to cut. I've gone over time as well. We're gonna have only one more. I'm so sorry if you're not gonna make it in, but I really can't go any longer. Who have I not had on before? I think like I might have had. Have I had you on before with your hand up? I'm pretty sure maybe I have. I don't think I've had, but you were last in as well, unfortunately, after I kind of closed it. I don't think I've had Ibrahim on before, to my knowledge. Have I had you on before, bro?
No, I never had me.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think
He's going to say no, of course.
Anyway,
I don't know what show this is.
I've never.
Guys, to the rest of the people, definitely follow on Twitch, because we're going to be doing a lot more interactive content like this. I'll probably be doing a weekly call-in show like this on my Twitch for after matches, maybe on a Monday. So definitely follow on the Twitch for that, and hopefully I see some of you over there. But big up your damn selves. Ibrahim, bro, welcome to the stage. How are you doing, and what point would you like to make today, bro, on the show?
Yeah, I'm doing good, guys. Yeah, I started on seeing Younes's content, and then saw the rest of you guys, obviously, and then some respect to Younes, and then
thank you, man.
What else was I going to say? There was a couple points from Timiz's stream that I wanted to speak to you guys about. There was the point on I think it was Faisal or someone was saying on Timiz's stream how Tuchel was supposed to be helping the players out or something with their with their mentality or something like that, which doesn't make sense if they weren't performing in the first place. So what else?
Expand on that.
He's supposed to be doing, and I've seen from a few Chelsea fans that they go like back the players and stuff like that, and it's becoming more recurrent. So, what do you guys think should happen regarding that?
In terms of the attackers,
I think I know which one you're talking about. There was a particular live chat individual yesterday that was saying, Miz, you got to back the players a lot more. You can't be sitting there and slandering them, so on and so forth. He was talking about mentality, this and that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Ibrahim. Are you sort of asking what do I have to say to those type of fans, or
the mentality of the attackers? How Tuchel is really meant to improve their mentality, which is just a good question because coaches are responsible for improving, mentality to a degree, but at the same time, it's like it's got to come from within, doesn't it? So I'm guessing he's asking with the mentality issue, maybe with the attackers, what does Tuchel really do about that?
Yeah, as you said, Matisse, it's a two-way street. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think about my life experience. How do I get mentally strong? I get mentally strong. I need to have the will and desire to be the best. That's number one. First of all, I need to believe that whatever job I do, I've got to do it the best in the room. And then the secondary thing is I've got to have the right mentors as well. So it's a two-way street, as Matisse was just saying, that the desire has to come from me, and then Thomas Tuchel can only reciprocate by adding on to that desire that, okay, now I'm going to give you targets. I'm going to give you some, projects, mini projects for you to achieve. I think this is how, Klopp got the best out of Salah. Like, Klopp keeps talking about the fact that Salah wants to be the best in the world. Salah wants to be in the echelon with Messi and Ronaldo. He wants to be talked in that particular manner. Bracket. Similarly with Mane. So Salah showed the desire. Klopp then gave him the targets. So right now, if I'm being honest, I don't see too much desire from some of our attackers. So that they need to come first, and then Tuchel can reciprocate.
It's a good question, Ibrahim. You're spot on in it does come to mentality, and that's the first thing that needs to be questioned in terms of any professional and what they do. Some of the things that these players are doing, you firstly need to look at whether they want it before the manager can help you. It's like when Mourinho done that Dele Alli interview that we've spoken about in the past, and he basically is like, it's up to you. You want it, then I'm here to help you. If you don't want it, I can't help you. It's as simple as that. So it comes from within first, as the saying goes, and it's a true saying. You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. It's as simple as that. And that's facts. That is fact. So it's down to these players, whether they have a real backbone and whether they can take criticism, ride on it, use it to take themselves to another level, and then Tuchel will elevate them to another level as well. So that's how it works. I mean, some of the other players we've pointed out, Jorginho done that when he got criticised. Rudiger's done it when he got criticised. Kepa has now done it. Some of these players need to take example and start, just have a backbone and take pride in what they do. And then Tuchel will take them to the next level, hopefully. So that's how I think it needs to be sorted.
Do you guys think also that that like is a sort of young player to alter issue as well? Because we know from Arsenal side that they don't listen to their manager. The older players. So do you think it's a similar situation? Like the players are kind of more following Lukaku and his sort of
influence.
Ideology.
Again, with Arteta, I mean, Arteta obviously was very ruthless with some of the players he got rid of. You know, Guendouzi, Saliba. Obviously now issues with Aubameyang. So he's being quite cutthroat in that regard in terms of getting rid of players that he doesn't really feel are on the same wavelength as him. And I hope Tuchel gets that power, because I hope it's not going to become a financial thing where, okay, well, this player's kind of gone against you. They're kind of shaking the apple cart, but we have to keep them for financial reasons, because that is how dressing rooms get split. So to answer your question, I definitely feel, yes, like Lukaku did open up the can of worms, so to speak, because that's the first point of entry, and nobody before that was really having anything to say, and I don't think they would have, because they've just won a Champions League under this manager, so there's a baseline of respect. And Lukaku, kind of with no history of obviously winning under this manager, comes in with a bit of an ego, and yes, this is live, comes in with a bit of an ego and kind of breaks that wall and says, listen, okay, I'm going to say what I want. And then now players will start to feel more comfortable and do the same. So I think that is an issue, bro. I really do. But it's something that we can't switch now. All we can do now for the future is hopefully in the summer rectify that by whoever doesn't want to be here goes, and the club needs to be ruthless on that, and hopefully be a little bit less stubborn with the finances. But it's easier said than done when we've made a loss of 145 million, which is what Miss said earlier. And that is where the concern comes with selling Broja, selling Gallagher, guys that are going to be financially attractive to other clubs, because obviously we know we can make money in that regard. So yeah, it is an issue. I've enjoyed both your questions. Unfortunately, I do have to end the show, but thank you so much, Ibrahim, for your questions, bro. And I really appreciate you coming on.
One quick question.
Yes.
One more quick question. Do you guys think we would have a similar transfer window to Lampard's last one? Like this week. This time
that was a good transfer window in terms of numbers. I don't know about quality in the end, but
in terms of numbers, yeah, no, you know, I don't think we'll see something similar in terms of the way we went about it. Like back then, it was obvious, like, you know, that Kai Havertz, he's smashing it. Let's get him. Werner, he's killing it. Let's get him. I don't think it'll be that sort of window. I'm hoping that it's going to be more suited to the profile of player that Tuchel needs. But to go and splash in the same way that we did, just in terms of money spent, we won't do that. Definitely not. Especially after having a loss. We'll be very selective, I think. And I think based on like what we're seeing this window, I feel like there's a hesitancy now within the club. So yeah, it'll be quite reserved, I think.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to wrap up.
There's a lot of players that's leaving the club this window, so it would make sense for them to bring in like quite a few other people.
Yeah.
Unless we have an overhaul, if we change it. All
Unless we have an overhaul. I hope they're that ruthless. But at the end of the day, as well, it's unlikely with all of the players that are going to come back from the loans, and they're going to probably cluster up a squad, and it's going to become complicated to move some of them, and it's just going to be slow. And unfortunately, when you're trying to sell players, you have to think of the buyers as well and what they need, not just the fact that we want to sell. We need to have buyers that are interested, want to pay a certain amount of money, and obviously have space in their squad, and they need to make room themselves. But Ibrahim, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate all of your points, bro. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for waiting as well. Appreciate it. So yeah, great show, guys. Brilliant questions from Ibrahim. You could see he really thought those ones through. Apologies for not getting through to everyone, but I have to shoot, because otherwise Turkish is going to absolutely kill me. But Ms. Younes
slapped up by a gooner.
Final thoughts, Ms. Bro, before, and let them know where to find you, bro. It's been a brilliant live show. Everything kind of covered, I think, in a nice roundabout way. And obviously back to premieres next week. But let them know where to find you and final thoughts, man.
Yeah, look, nothing major in terms of final thoughts. All I want to say is please follow Matisse on Twitch. Make sure you do that. He's built up a big network over here, and I want you guys all to go and support him in Twitch and give him all the love there as well, and make sure that he's buzzing there. From my end, the other side of the coin, we are now, maybe 250 away from 10K. It's reducing every week, which is great. So help me get to 10K, and just keep the bell notification on. Anything is possible anytime, so look out.
There you go, guys. Make sure you go and subscribe to Miz if you haven't already. You know the link is in the chat and in the description as well. 9.7K, so not far from 10K, and then more celebrations on this show as well, as we love to do quite frequently, it seems these days, which is good. Younes, let them know where to find you, bro, and any final thoughts as well.
Yeah, no, firstly, definitely, man. Make sure you're following Matisse on Twitch. It's been nice doing these live for the times that we've been able to do it live here on YouTube. Obviously, if we ever do it live, it will go over to Twitch. But the premieres keep going as normal. So yeah, no, it was a nice last live on YouTube. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, in terms of me, Younes Talks Football, you know where to find me. By now, I would think. Definitely, I think for the next 2 weeks, the fact we're not going to have Chelsea.
Big dog. I love it. You got to have big dog energy at 100k now.
Younes, only we can say that.
I'm not going to hear anymore. Oh, well, you guys, if you don't know where I am, yeah, we damn well do. You strut your stuff, king.
There has to be a balance, you know.
100%.
You know, for the next 2 weeks, I think obviously with no Chelsea and whatnot, keep up to date with what's going on in the football world. But I also want to try and have 2 weeks of collabs and try and get loads of people on. YouTube will definitely be on.
We just lose Younes.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we just got you back. I couldn't hear you.
What did Miss say? Oh, you couldn't hear him. Oh, okay, I could.
Yeah, no, we're definitely I'm gonna try and do some collabs and bring on various other creators for the next 2 weeks up until we get Chelsea back, and then we'll see what happens going forward after the Plymouth game. So yeah, that's it really. And also my second channel on Twitch, that's on a side note. So yeah.
There you go. Guys, from me, I will be in France from Monday to Thursday next week, so there will be no content on Twitch from that point onwards. There are 7 streams from Friday. I'm not going to do a stream with Flawless tonight because I will be doing Big Six for the rest of the day. Flawless will be hopefully over the weekend. I'll reschedule, but there probably will be about 6 or 7 streams over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Twitch. So you'll get a big cluster of Twitch content, one-to-one conversations with Zach, who obviously works with Chelsea, Sam, who obviously works with Chelsea as well, Daniel, who works with Chelsea as well, and Dami, and Flawless, and potentially one other person as well. So you're getting a lot of content on Twitch. If you're not already over there, check it out. It's not a joke. On YouTube, London Clubs Carnage is tomorrow at 1 p.m. We have rescheduled it. It will be a lot of fun. That will be another live show. That will probably be the last live show on this channel. And then it will be strictly videos and premieres from that point onwards. All the lives will be on Twitch. So that's all from that. And Big Six is tonight on Don Robbie channel at 9 p.m. in studio, obviously getting called a gremlin in real life. So I'm looking forward to that.
And you're going to France. Is that are you off to scout?
No, unfortunately not. I'm going with my girl just for a few days of relaxation. But I will be in Paris, and if there are some players, maybe Marquinhos, we probably take a look. I could try kidnap someone and bring them back if I can.
I tried to find Cavani under the Eiffel Tower once, didn't work. Just saying.
Yeah. But this was the last live all you can eat before premieres go back, of course, and breaking news will be on Twitch as well. So if you do love the live content, it's definitely worth going to Twitch. There's some serious. Don't think that the energy drops. The conversations on Twitch are just on the same level. Like you're missing some funny shit. We're not even always talking about football. We're talking about just life in general. I'm going to be doing a lot of one-to-ones. Probably me and Miz and Younes will have one-to-ones on there as well. Me and Miz did a podcast back in the day. We spoke about loads of things. So I'm going to be doing a lot of talking on Twitch, less about football all the time and more about just real life and asking about people's lives and talking about that stuff openly and talking about content creation and things like that. So there's a lot more different types of conversations going on Twitch. And if you've been on the Twitch, you know what I'm talking about, especially with Flawless last week. So that's it from me. I've got a dash. The Victoria line is only so fast. And I will chat to you, man, in a bit. In a bit, people. Peace.